A hard contested game between St. Augustine and Atlantic City, and I don't think any of us expected anything less. Our star of the game tonight will be Justyn Mutts, who defensively contributed tons tonight. How do you feel about that game defensively, Justyn?
I feel that's my part to this team. Gotta help everybody else. If they get beat, I have to be there to block the shot. That's how we run. That's how we have such a fast-paced offense.
That sequence of blocks towards the end of the game. You made one block, they still got the ball back. I want to take you back to the second block in that series. You were as pumped up as I've ever seen in the court after the second one. Tell us about that.
I was excited. It was a crucial part of the game. The crowd, everybody was standing up. Crowd was crazy. I know I had to get it, or it'd be a tie game, I think.
You had a lot of help underneath there. Harvey and Hargis
Definitely.
working hard, getting those rebounds for you as well.
Definitely. Even Brenda came in, contributed a lot.
Big offensive foul he took there. Justyn, your defense has really, that's, as you said, that's what you do for this team. I talked to Coach Rodeo after the Winslow, or after the game the other night, and I said, well, it looked like Justyn didn't do much because I thought he only had like 8 points. He said he probably won the game for us because he had 18 rebounds and 8 blocks and a lot of stuff early on. So forgetting the stat sheet, you can change a game at that end of the floor.
I'm just trying to do my part to this team. We got a lot of guys that can score at will in this team, and I'm not definitely one of our scorers, but if I get it to them, I know we'll win. Rebounds, blocks, all those things are my part.
What goes through your head with under 2 minutes, your leader, your floor leader, Saeed Nelson, fouls out of the game? What goes through your mind at that point?
Well, he's from around that part, so my thoughts are we have to do this for him. We got to win this game for him. We got to do this for him because he'd want to win this game more than anybody else on the floor.
We've been talking during the game, and Coach Radio talked about it earlier. It's a big rivalry game for you guys, but something tells us you're going to see them again maybe in a couple of weeks in the Cape Atlantic tournament. You think that'll happen?
Wouldn't want it any other way. They're a good team. We're a pretty good team. We just want a good competition for the state chip. I mean for the Cal chip. If we can get there.
I want to ask you about number 20 for Atlantic City. He's the littlest guy on the court, and yet he's making a lot of things happen. What was your defense against him?
I think he's a sophomore, right?
He was one of the younger guys, I guess, but it was weird that you were on him a couple of times.
Yeah, we ran a triangle. He's a great player. He made a lot of good moves on me. I was just trying not to foul him.
Yeah, he's a senior actually, but yeah, he made a lot of big plays in that fourth quarter. Kind of kept them close. They got within one, but you guys pulled it out from the foul line.
Well, Justyn, we're going to let you go because Coach Rodeo is going to yell at me for taking you before he can talk to you in the locker room after. So head in there with your team. Thanks for joining us, Justyn.
Our star of the game, Justyn Mutts, but really could always point to about 3 or 4 different players who are potentially stars of the game. And I like the fact that he mentioned Aldrich at the end there, getting that key offensive foul against AC. He pointed out we didn't have to.
Yeah, it takes a, as you say, it
takes a village.
It takes a great team effort, and that really was that. And as he said, they wanted to win it for Saeed. He is from down at that area, knows a lot of these guys, and I think he takes a lot of that on himself all the time. And I'm sure he didn't want to be. He wanted to be there at the end for his teammates.
Well, with all the games that Saeed has won for them, I think the mentality was, hey, this one's for Saeed. He played his heart out again. I mean, he had most of his points in the first half when he was spectacular. 16 points in the first half for Saeed Nelson. So the fact that everybody else stepped up really says a lot about the whole program once again.
And the great part about it is we're going to come back here again right tomorrow night. He said it's Bridgeton High coming in. It's senior night. Saeed, the only senior on the team. I think they're going to do some special things for him. And maybe he could take a little bit of a deep breath because he won't get tackled quite as much as he did tonight by Atlantic City.
Well, we're going to run down our scores here for you. Basically a 20-point night for Saeed Nelson. Having a chance to total all the numbers. Tell you what, let's take a quick timeout, give you the actual fact numbers here, and we'll take a quick timeout, be right back with all the final numbers. Well, once again, our final score tonight, 60-53, but that 7-point advantage, a little bit deceptive in the fact that it was a 1-point game midway through that final quarter, but nonetheless, St. Augustine found a way to pull this one out.
Well, we talked before the game that Gene Allen had said that his team, he wasn't happy with the way they played against Camden. He didn't think they played tough, and I think they did tonight. They came out, they played tough, they got behind a little bit, and then kept making their runs back at St. Augustine. What you would expect from the two best teams in the Cape Atlantic. They were going to battle each other back and forth the whole way, and then really when it came right down to it is a play here or there, and it turns out a big offensive foul by Brendan Aldridge late in the game really turned the tide right there, had St. Augustine hold on.
20 points for Saeed Nelson, leading all scorers, and 3 other players in double figures tonight. Austin Kennedy coming up big and with some free throws finishes with 10 points. 10 points also for Justyn Mutts, and 15 for Walter Harvey. So those 4 players in double figures, that says a lot about the offense too.
Again, we talk about Walter Harvey, at least I talk about
Yes, you
Walter
do.
Harvey a lot.
And I'm seeing the same thing.
And yeah, you can really see it, and you can see this kid maturing and blossoming into one of the better players here in South Jersey. And they needed him tonight. They needed him to step up in certain key situations. He kept offense alive for them. He got a lot more opportunities for them on the offensive rebounds, and he's turning into a nice addition to that lineup.
Atlantic City's top 2 players, both of them in double figures, Ashawn Centeno and Ahmad Biggins, who really came off the bench and provided big-time spark. He finishes with 13 as well, so those are the top 2 Atlantic City scorers. We're going to be back tomorrow night right here on www.snjtoday.com. Every once in a while the W's come out. I know they're unnecessary now, but we'll be back here tomorrow night against Bridgeton. That should be just as entertaining. They always have those athletes that can run and gun just as well as St. Augustine and Atlantic City. So we'll be here tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, for our coverage of St. Augustine basketball. The Hermits with a 21-0 record now. Meanwhile, Atlantic City dropping to 17-3, but you saw the best 2 in the Cape Atlantic League tonight, and we certainly hope you enjoyed tonight's game as a result. Our producer tonight, as always, Ryan Schumacher. Ty Skarzinski, our cameraman, as well as Megan Hogate, and Mark Keller helping out on the graphics and the production as well. For Dave Catalana, Fred Melendez, come back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, for more St. Augustine basketball. Tonight's final, 60-53, the Hermits over the Vikings. Good night.